Hello and welcome to the Sounds and Symbols mini video series, the last session on the road to literacy. I hope you've enjoyed all the other videos so far. Our final video is going to look at beginning reading and writing and the skills that children need to bring together in order to be able to make a start on reading words in front of them and to create their own words. This mini-series of 20 videos offers activity ideas to help to promote the foundational skills required for literacy success. You will find this introduction at the beginning of each session to remind you of the skills you are helping your child to gain and to explain how these contribute to literacy success. Sounds and Symbols is committed to play-based learning, the belief that the spoken word should come before the written word, Vygotsky's sociocultural theory of cognitive development, that language is the root of culture, that a child's culture is significant to their learning, and that children learn within their community role. That building knowledge upon previous knowledge is how children learn, through holism, bringing together everything that they know, and that children learn through doing. This diagram shows indicators of good literacy. Children learn through experience. This is gained from their environment and their interactions within it. The skills on this diagram are evident in children who are good at literacy. By promoting these skills, it is possible to establish a sound foundation for literacy. Each indicator has been identified through educational research. Children who struggle with literacy are often weak in some of these areas. For a more in-depth explanation of these indicators, please refer to the Literacy Unlocked webinars at www.melsis.co.uk/eduweb. Teaching children through music is a very natural, fun and enjoyable and successful way to learn, and this is especially true of literacy, because language and music have a great deal in common. Facility with language and the ability to discriminate and to manipulate language sounds are the most important precursors to literacy success. Musical activities offer a means of playing with language sounds. By focusing on developing an awareness of language sounds, a secure literacy foundation can be laid. Listening to stories, singing songs, reciting rhymes, and enjoying finger plays and action songs are the bedrock of early literacy learning, as they help children to tune in to language sounds. They also help to create a fun and playful environment in which children can learn to identify, match, and manipulate language sounds. These skills are essential for literacy. As this is the last in this series, it's about bringing everything together that we've done so far. So hopefully, in the previous 19 sessions, you have learnt what children need to bring together in order to be successful at literacy. So firstly, they need a literacy-rich environment. They need to observe reading and writing taking place from their teachers, their parents at home, their siblings. They need to know how to read books, how they're read, going from left to right, from front to back, which way up the books need to be. They need to be able to discriminate sounds. Can you remember what activities we did for that? We looked at some instruments. We looked at being able to tell the difference between two different pitches, ones that were quite distant and then ones that were close together. Children need to have good oral language skills. So we talked about how to help children to be good at speaking. And doing rhymes and songs all help children to produce the vocabulary that they need to learn. Good cognitive skills. Children need a good visual and a good auditory memory. They need to be able to understand what's happening. And they need automaticity to be able to read words automatically. They need to understand sequence and be able to remember sequences and to be able to pay attention and focus. They need phonological awareness, which is vital to good literacy. which is being aware of syllables, rhymes and phonemes within words. They need to be able to recognise and segment the sounds within words and to be able to blend the sounds together. They also need gross and fine motor skills, especially to be able to use a pencil, fine motor, and gross motor skills, if you remember, because it helps the brain to function and it helps to keep us in order and be able to keep a rhythm and keep a beat. It's important to literacy because it controls the timing and how we process sounds within a certain time. It's all related. Also visual ability, to be able to recognise shape, numbers and letters. I hope you can remember some of the activities that we've done so far. I've got a list here so I can read some of them out to you. We mentioned a sound walk using instruments, talking about pitch. We did Mousy Brown rhyme. We did Once Upon a Time a Little Mouse Lived in a Little Hole, Quietly, Quietly as Can Be. If you remember that one. Tiny Tim the Turtle. I went to school one morning and I walked like this. Hurry, hurry, drive the engine. Can you walk on tiptoe as softly as a cat? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. And Kim's Game. And we read quite a few rhymes as well, and also lots of storybooks. We had The Tiger Who Came to Tea, Where's Nessie, My Cat Ben, which was a rhyming story and a song, Granny's House, Hairy McClary, and Sally's Day at the Sales, and a little bit about Stickman and Julia Donaldson's lovely rhyming stories. I have just a few more activities to share with you that might help. We'll look at the next slide. We mentioned helping children to sound out words when they're reading, recognise sight words, and that all words become sight words in the end, ones we can read anyway. There might still be some we have difficulty with, even as adults. Help children to write words correctly. Don't criticise invented spelling if a child has tried. Make sure that words are displayed around the room so children see the correct spelling of words. This helps them to get fixed in their memories. You know yourself, if you see a word that's misspelt quite often, then you end up misspelling it yourself because you see it so regularly. I used to go past a confectioner's shop that was spelled A-R-Y at the end. I used to think, if I continue to see that every day, I'll eventually think that that is the correct spelling. And it took about 40 years, I think, before the confectioner's shop closed down. I was quite relieved. So we need to see correct spelling. If children start to learn misspellings, then they get embedded and it's very hard to change them later on. So practice writing words correctly, display words so that children can see them, read books and rhymes and stories. I've got another rhyme to share with you. I found this one. It's by Robert Louis Stevenson and it's called The Moon, and I thought it was very nice. I'd like to share it with you. Here it is. If you can see this book here. The moon has a face like the clock in the hall. She shines on thieves on the garden wall, on streets and fields and harbour quays, and birdies asleep in the forks of the trees. The squalling cat and the squeaking mouse, the howling dog by the door of the house, the bat that lies in bed at noon, all love to be out by the light of the moon. But all of the things that belong to the day cuddle to sleep to be out of her way. And flowers and children close their eyes till up in the morning the sun shall arise. Isn't that a lovely little poem and story? It's so nice. From my 365 stories and rhymes book. There's some wonderful things in there. So we've talked about lots of stories. We had my favourite, the tiger who came to tea, and lots of rhymes. We also talked about discriminating sounds, telling the difference between a motorbike and a car, for example, going on sound walks, promoting spoken language skills, ask children to retell stories, act out stories, like this Sleeping Beauty, sing songs, tongue twisters. Another one that we didn't mention before was She Sells Seashells on the Seashore. Songs for syllables, rhymes and phonemes, like the alphabet rap. I have a couple more activities here. One for syllables. These are from the Florida Reading Research Center. This one is count the syllables. So these are handouts. I'm not really in favour of handouts, but there are things, these are things you can do. So there's pictures and the word is written underneath, and the child has to circle how many syllables in each word. Or this one, again, put a circle around the number of syllables. Elephant, 3. Or draw the number of syllables in this one. And if you laminate the sheets, children can write on them and rub them out and they can be reused. That's another one for syllables. Also for rhymes, these little cards are quite useful. You have to put a peg on the picture that matches. So we have bag, tag, apron, unicorn. So I think it will be tag, and you have fine motor skills as well here, the children operating the peg. Another one. We have cake, banana, snake, bone. I think it will be snake. Another one here. Snail, whale, soap, cup. Snail, whale. It doesn't matter at this stage that the spellings are different. The one we have. Pen, 10, boat, crab. It's good for vocabulary building as well. Pen, 10. So your peg would go here. These are other things that you can put out on a table and children can do them in small groups that can work together. So there's lots of those. Pear, bear, hat, bat. With this one, you need to make sure that children know that this is a jeep to match with sheep. So make sure that if you're doing anything with pictures, children do actually know the vocabulary. I would have said car and was looking for something to match with car, but not jeep, sheep. There's another action rhyme that children love I would like to share with you, and it's if you see a puddle. So the children look at the pictures, and if you see a puddle, you have to go, can you imagine what it might be? Splash. So you listen to the introduction to the music, children can dance, and then they sing along to If You See a Puddle, and they splash, and other words that go with the verses in the song. This next song is various actions to the music. You have to have a look at the picture. So if you see a puddle, you have to go splash. If you see a lion, you have to go roar. If you see a snake, you have to go If you see a puppy, oh, you have to go oh, stroke the puppy. If you see a cat, you have to go meow, meow. If you see a motorbike, you need 2 hands for this one, you have to go vroom. You can vroom around a little bit. And the last one, if you see a pillow, you have to go to sleep. Okay, are you ready? Yeah, and dance around a bit at the beginning. Okay, listen carefully to the music. Last bit. We're ready, here we go. If you see a puddle, you have to go splash. You have to go splash. You have to go splash. If you see a puddle, you have to go splash. That's what puddles are for. If you see a lion, you have to go rah. You have to go rah. You have to go rah. If you see a lion, you have to go rah. That's what lions are for. If you see a snake, you have to go sss. You have to go sss. You have to go sss. If you see a snake, you have to go sss. That's what snakes are for. If you see a puppy, you have to go oh. You have to go oh. You have to go oh. If you see a puppy, you have to go oh. That's what puppies are for. If you see a cat, you have to go meow. You have to go meow. You have to go meow. If you see a cat, you have to go meow. That's what cats are for. If you see a motorbike, you have to go vroom. You have to go vroom. You have to go vroom. If you see a motorbike, you have to go vroom. That's what motorbikes are for. If you see a pillow, you have to go. You have to go. You have to go. If you see a pillow, you have to go. That's what pillows are for. Dance again a bit. Also, we've spoken about the importance of fine motor activities. We just had another example there of using pegs to clip on with the matching rhyme cards. Also, visual recognition and memory for sight words. Children need to be able to remember what words look like. They can't learn to read like that because there are far too many words, and they need to be able to know the sounds in words to build their own words. But it's still an important skill. Also, if children are learning from flashcards, maybe put the words in a sentence, and that gives them another hook to help them to remember. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this series. I hope you've enjoyed the activities, and I hope the children that you're working with, whether you're a mum at home, I hope your children will enjoy them all. Thank you very much.